All right, so you think I would feel really, really shitty, right? You think I would feel real shitty. I kinda feel kinda shitty a little bit because there's still this bit of attachment that's kind of lingering. It's still kind of the first day after somebody deletes you, and there's still that attachment, like, oh no, what am I gonna do without them, and etc. But I came from a very genuine and nice place, a very genuine and nice place when I was trying to be there for Taquana and her situation, and obviously I was open with her a little bit about my situation and told her I was open to meeting maybe a black woman through her business and stuff like that, and I was interested in interracial relationships, and I did let her know occasionally that I thought she was a little bit of attractive, and she was kind of digging that a little bit, but um, so she did know that she at one point she was a little bit attractive to me, so she wasn't like it wasn't like that should have been a secret. But time went on, and she was really struggling with the business because she needed extra help and stuff like that. And as I said before, my mother kind of recommended to me that I go help her out because she's been struggling. And I talked to her a couple times. I went to her business a couple times after hours, well, not after hours, but at the nighttime, like after like the daylight hours, I would at the nighttime I would go over to her, like, her business, and I basically sit down and talk to her, have like a coffee or some food, and talk to her about life and stuff, and we would talk, and we actually almost agreed that everything that was going to stay between us was going to stay between us, but shit happens apparently, huh? Um, so I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of shit said about me and stuff like that at this point, or how I'm a lazy worker, or etc. Um, but at this point, I just wanted to say, the first day of yesterday's job working for Tijuana was not actually good. I mean, she basically barked orders through like a text message in the phone. She called us on the phones, on both of our phones. She would bark orders through like a text messages of what she wanted done. Basically, the whole business is basically, security camera, so you can't really get away with anything. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I don't really want to, but it's like, if somebody tried to get away with anything, everybody knows that the whole place is like booby trapped or something, because like her whole family is watching the place, so you can't really get away with anything if people tried. So, but I will say that I was very admirable the first day on yesterday's job, because I'm first, like, not even like 10 minutes when I walk in the door, I start sweeping the back of her kitchen, right? I start sweeping the back of the kitchen, waiting for this other lady to show up named Victoria, who I talked to a couple of times when I went there for coffee originally, right? So I'm talking to this lady, with this lady named Victoria at one point, but she didn't come until later on, but, I will say that I was sweeping up the floor, and then I found Taquana's bank card on the floor, right? I found Taquana's bank card on the floor, and immediately what did I do? I messaged Taquana saying, Taquana, your bank card's on the floor, because obviously I wanted to let her know that her personal bank card was out in the open for her bank, and I don't want anybody to, take that. So obviously I was telling her, the bank card's on the floor, and where would you like me to put your bank card so I could, so it could be safe. So, I mean, she didn't really say much to me about the situation and stuff, but I waited for this lady named Victoria to come up, and who's been working for her for months, who Taquana was not happy about, because Taquana doesn't like the effort, or like the jobs that get done, or the effort for the jobs that do get done, that she needs done by this lady named Victoria. Obviously, granted, it's my first day, and it's kind of like an orientation where I'm still trying to understand and learn the ropes of what's going on, and being trained, because I was supposed to come back today and learn a little bit more, because she wanted me to be on my own and take care of the business on my own, and try to take care of everything on my own. But it was a weight. It was an unnecessary kind of weight I kind of took on, because I kind of wanted to open my heart towards her and the black community by supporting her business and being there for her, which I also put an emphasis on her, because I wanted to be there for her as well. But I didn't really want to actually, seem like I would get a job, like a job. She was almost gonna hire me. She was almost gonna hire me for either a part-time or just like a here and there job type thing. So she was almost gonna hire me for a part-time or here and there job type thing. But I didn't think I got the job. I mean, she wanted me to come back to work today because I know I talked to her last night and she was pretty upset, yelling at me through Facebook Messenger. But she was pretty upset, so I didn't really get, and obviously she was like, oh, I don't have anybody dependable, I can't have anybody do what I asked them to do, and she was pretty much barking at everybody because she wanted us to do all the work. Granted, I was also in the kitchen working, and she had all these baking pans and all these food items out that, there was like a thing of like barbecue sauce that had all kinds of barbecue sauce out of like all around the squeezable thing, and because the lid was off of it, and you can barely put the lid on, so she had that all out, and she had all baking pans and stuff that still had all kinds of like baking stuff from like cupcakes and stuff in it. So some of it was pretty unfair because, I mean, obviously, sometimes she should also have the time to take care of some of her own dishes, but it's like it felt kind of on us to also make sure that she, I don't know if she did that on purpose to make sure we were going to do the effort of what she needed us to do, but some of the stuff that she had in the kitchen seemed really unfair because it was basically like that. Somebody told me it was like that for months, where her baking stuff had all kinds of baking stuff in it and stuff like that needed to be washed and stuff, and she hasn't had the proper help because Victoria's only being able to man the front and the back, but she can't man both, and this whole situation. So but it was a very overwhelming situation to work, try to work this restaurant job thing I was working yesterday. I mean, granted it was only one day, and I was only there because my heart was open, and because it was open I realized it was leading me down a path I did not want to go. I didn't want to go down this path. And the more I kind of like thought about things in my mind, I realized that, that the owner is not actually keeping trustworthy things to me either. She wasn't being real to my face. She wasn't being real about the things she was telling me about, or she wasn't even being upfront with me about some of the things she was telling me. Granted, there was a lot of things, seen on her personal page, like the picture I actually just shared, which I'm not going to delete. I don't care if people say delete it. I say fuck you, let me do my thing, and fuck you. Okay, so anyways, so I'm at that point where I just had a very crazy day yesterday. I had a crazy day. She calls me, Taquana calls me and she tells me to go to the bank for her. She says, take a 50 from the register, go to the bank and get a roll of quarters, a roll of dimes, and a roll of singles. And make sure you're going to to drop off my flyers for the Easter egg hunt. I mean, I had to go see John, which I didn't really want to go see John, but I had to go see John Noki to give him one. I had to go see one at Cafe Joey, and then I had to give one to this other guy at Toothpick. The guy at Toothpick was almost flirting with her the other day, or getting all kind of smiley and flirty with her, and I was sitting there kind of like just in my emotions, like, do you see me sitting here? Did you remember what I actually talked to you about? Are you understanding what I'm talking to you about? Do you understand what I actually told you before? Like, do you know how uncomfortable this makes me? Could you tell him to tone it down a little bit or something? But I didn't say that out loud, but I was kind of like at that point where, she, like the day or two before, he came in and he was talking to her about this Easter egg hunt because she was trying to get everybody together for this Easter egg hunt for the kids, So I was basically helping her out, doing everything she needed help with, and I was trying my best. But I mean, obviously, when I was doing her dishes, the dishes, I got a really nice shirt. I had to find a black T-shirt because I didn't get, she didn't have any more official shirts for the business, and I'm glad she doesn't have to get me one. But she didn't have any official shirts for the business, so I had to use like one of my nice shirts that my mother gave me, and I was wearing a pair of jeans, which I probably shouldn't have worn for work, but I obviously had to wear something to go to work and do what I had to do to work the job. So I'm working the job, trying to do what I need to do. I'm doing the dishes because obviously I said before the baking pans are wrong. I realized that I have a big giant puddle on the floor, and she got really mad at me about that later on. She started complaining and stuff, or she started like yelling at me and the other lady through a text message. I just got home and she's still yelling at me through a text message about, oh, my floor smells really badly and stuff, because I guess she has like this problem with like one of her dish drainers, right? So it's like, so it's like it's leaking or something, right? So she has like a little thing to catch it, and the only way for me to really kind of remove the thing and actually empty it was to kind of make sure that I could kind of tip it a little to remove it. So I kind of actually accidentally spilled some water on the floor. But she walked in there later on and told everybody it smelled and stuff, and she was upset and stuff. But the only thing I really could do was mop the floor so there wasn't a giant puddle between like the dishes I was doing and the other stuff. But she got mad at me because I did that, because she was like, oh, where's the smell and stuff coming from, And I'm obviously trying to do the best I can, and etc. I mean, obviously, part of me really loved like what she did, and loved the business, and loved how the atmosphere was, and loved what she had to put out. But I can't say I loved her, but I wanted to come from a place of love when I was trying to support her and try to have her back. I was trying to come from a place of love. I can't say I loved her, but so this probably makes this whole situation less painful. But obviously, part of me knows in the back of my mind too, she's probably talking to another guy on the phone. She has 2 kids. Her Facebook page said she was widowed, and she had 2 kids. I don't know what I'm doing with a lot of widows lately, but that just seems to be the outlook of the thing. But I just like, she has 2 kids, and who knows who the hell she's talking to, or who knows who the hell she's trying to get involved with her life. But I was trying to do my best, and I thought I was doing really well. The lady Victoria said I was doing really well, but obviously when Taquana got there and stuff, we both got yelled at. So I took it that my whole orientation day yesterday was horrible. I was still getting yelled at and through text messages on the way home and stuff like that. So, Victoria basically had to go to a church function because she's obviously was a Christian. She was always playing gospel music, which what do you call it? Which Taquana basically, hated, because she wanted to live in like an urban environment, so she wanted more urban type of music instead of like the gospel. But, it was a really kind of a rough situation on the job. I mean, it was like there was 2 of us, and still it was very hard for us to maintain everything that needed to be done. I mean, she obviously says she can't pay everybody because she's having a hard time problems with business and etc. I mean, obviously I know this, I know this now, and it's like before I was told that everything was fine, but she's not getting a lot of business. And I mean, obviously I was going to be one of the best customers, and I probably never should have took this whole job situation, because this whole job situation made her more aggravated at me and put me in a position with her that I really wish I wasn't in, because I could have still been down there talking to her and not be in this like heavier situation that I put myself in. Oh, because why? Because I wanted to come from a place of love and mutual respect for the black community and the black business and doing what she was doing. I mean, obviously, it is what it is, but I had my own feelings involved in stuff too in some of this, and obviously, me, I also thought she was attractive, so I obviously had my moments too, and I was like, when she started yelling at me, I know she was a Leo, this is where the whole thing with the Leo came in, for those who actually haven't been following me lately. The whole thing with the Leo came in is because Taquana's a Leo, she's a fire sign, so, and I'm a Sagittarius, so we were talking and we were getting along pretty well, but like most Leos and stuff, everybody was at some point in life, Leos and Sagittarius is like fuck each other over, or they can't agree on stuff, because Leos have that temper and sometimes Sagittarius do too. But everything I said to her, I mean, I wish I could still play the messages on my Facebook Messenger, because everything I said to her was still kind of out of an act of respect and kindness, and with my heart open and trying to really, be there and try to, do what I could do for her. And I don't think it was very much appreciated. Obviously, she was saying, oh, I'm your employer, I'm your boss, but, she was still trying to say, oh, you're going to come in because you're going to have more of a I need you position for this, and this. But I already told her about my schedule, about being flexible and etc., because I have appointments during the month of, the next couple of months for like the dentist and therapy and my mentor and other stuff too. And I told her I can't be doing a full-time job either because of my income and stuff like that. Otherwise, my benefits and stuff get taken, you know? Obviously, believe it or not, as of tonight, I will show you right now that I got disability paperwork I gotta fill out, which I just got in the mail tonight. So I gotta go fill out my disability paperwork for this next coming week to make sure I can still get my, my disability. But, I'm at this point, I'm just like, I worked the job for one day, and my mom's probably really glad that I kind of didn't put myself in too much of a jeopardy situation, that I'm still not going to be in that position, because I obviously, I'm not going to use her as a reference or a place I worked, because I only worked there for one day, and it wasn't the greatest. I think everything I did fill out was not gonna, I don't know, but regardless, I tried working for Tijuana. I mean, obviously, Tijuana knew that I was open to interracial relationships. She kind of knew I was digging her. She kind of knew the situation, so nothing was a secret. Obviously, I found out about her Facebook page, and she basically friended me right after the New Year's Day, the New Year's Day party or something like that, or the New Year's Eve party. She actually friended me on Facebook. And I can tell you what it's under, but I'm not going to tell you what it's under, because I'm still going to keep her respect in a way, because I don't want to totally damage her. But I just wanted to prove a point by sharing that picture and sharing the actual comments that were under it, because that was just to prove a point, not really to take a stab, but to prove a point on my own behalf, that there's some type of shit going on with this situation. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I'm glad I'm out of it. I'm glad I'm out of the fucking thing. I'm so fucking glad. Let me tell you. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna be disappointed though, because it means I'm not gonna have any more banana pudding, or I'm not going to have any more collard greens or any more soul food, but I'm going to have to take that, take that responsibility in that situation. And obviously, I'm not trying to make her sound totally bad about her situation. Obviously, she said too that the health inspector might be coming up, because it's about that time of the year for her and stuff, but she just was going through a lot, and there was a lot going on at the job and stuff that I kind of had to take care of and stuff that I wasn't fully functional to fully take care of, I wanted to support her. I wanted to be there for her, but my heart was in the right place. But the situation, obviously, the first day showed me it was all wrong, and I told her, my heart's in the right place for you and stuff. But I think in the same time, the situation is just all wrong because of where my intentions are and how things are playing out. And I'm sorry, I need to, kind of remove myself. But she got really upset, especially probably not seeing me at work today, because I didn't show up to, support the business and show up and, do the manual labor she was going to do, because, we had an agreement at one point that she was almost going to pay me, but she doesn't have to pay me. I'll just sign my disability paperwork. Hopefully that will go through. Hopefully I will be fine and everything will be good. Hopefully everything got thrown out, and it's like I don't even have to hear that I was even working, because I'm not working, I'm not working at this point, and I'm not going to be in that position to work. So, I'm back to square one where I was even beforehand. I mean, I get my disability income, I get, whatever I get from my artwork, and as I was talking to her, because I talked to her about that I almost told her I almost could use a third way of another job to bring in some more income and stuff like that, which I know she'd try to do out the kindness of her heart to also give me the job to try to do that. But I'm really at the point now where I'm just I don't know. She's really harsh. I mean, I don't want to use any words. I mean, obviously pictures tell a lot of stories, and I don't want to use any words or seem to be using any vulgar words about a black woman, but obviously, I can kind of use vulgar words a little bit in some cases, but I just want to kind of keep this PG, because obviously people are still going to want to work with her and stuff like that. I just can't work with her. I know she told me a story that she had to fire somebody, and they were told not to come back to the store, not to come back to work, not to come back to even come and support the store. So now now I can't even go to a soul food restaurant that I really liked and enjoyed, because my mom told me, hey, why don't you go volunteer for Taquana to go help her out? So I did that. I did that out of the kindness of my heart. I fucked myself over. Congratulations Christian's mother. But, I called my mother earlier today and I already told her that. So, I mean, obviously Taquana saw everything I wrote on Facebook and decided, okay, I'm going to delete him. So goodbye, Taquana. Bye-bye. But I do. I have some proof of some things and stuff like that about the situation. I knew I was going to probably have to back up my case a little bit and say more of what I was talking about. I mean, obviously it's my Facebook, and I'll say as much as I want to say about how the situation and etc. But I can't say anything else. I mean, I can say that I tried to extend my heart, and my heart was taken for granted, or almost taken for granted. I was almost put in a position where I could have possibly affected my benefits and put more manual labor on me and etc. just to help out Tijuana and work for her and stuff like that. I mean, obviously there was pictures on my Instagram. I only took 2 of them yesterday because I was working a lot and doing some other things, but it doesn't matter, Sometimes people in the black community can be assholes. I mean, I hate to say that to everybody, but sometimes people in the black community can just be assholes. I mean, not every black person's an asshole, but some people in the black community are just fucking assholes, They don't trust us, and they give us a reason not to trust them. So it's like, why? You want to give me a reason not to trust you when I'm trying open my heart towards you. So now you're giving me a reason not to trust you, and now you wonder why I'm hostile or why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. Like, what the fuck, But anyways, I'm not gonna stay on too long. And as soon as she deleted me too, my nerves kind of did that thing where it cringed a little bit. My nerves kind of did that thing where I was cringing a little bit and I was like shaking, but I kind of realized that there was a little bit of toxicity or something there at that point, but obviously if she wanted to delete me and stuff like that, she could. I just decided to, personally, block her from my page so she didn't have to see anything else. I mean, I don't know if she wanted to maybe still message me or something like that, but I don't know. I mean, I deleted my nice review I gave her too. I mean, I deleted my nice review I gave the restaurant because obviously I knew this was going to happen. But in a way I was almost counting on it for other reasons that I feel like are hopefully going to be more beneficial to me down the long run. I mean, I don't know for sure, but obviously, as I said before, I don't support John Noki, and now I don't support Taquana's Soul Food and Sweets next door. So now I'm pretty much at the point where there's a part of the block I can't go around. So I'm gonna have to make strategically walk around the block to get back to my apartment. I avoid certain local businesses or storefronts. But at this point, I really don't give 2 fucks of a shit. I know people be like, oh, you need to delete people's photos if we don't have consent posting them or whatever else, but she posted some shit openly to her page, and I just wanted to prove a point, that I was barking up that tree. A lot of people are barking up that tree. She's kind of a player. She's kind of using her flirtation and her ways to get what she wants. She did the same thing on me. She did the same thing on me. I was open with her. I kind of let my heart be used. She kind of let herself use me. My mom kind of put me in the position where I was being used. So I basically was being used by a local business owner. People can take it or run with it as they want to. People can choose to believe it. People can choose not to believe it. But I'm just telling you, I was being used by the lady who runs the soul food place for her own benefit. Because during the daytime, I don't know if she's seeing other guys or etc. or just cooking a lot of food or something. But she had a lot of other stuff to do during the daytime. So she's never really at the restaurant. She has to do all this running around or a secondary job. So she can't necessarily, be at the restaurant and stuff, so she expects all of us to do the work, and she gets unhappy when the slightest little thing is actually left undone, or some stuff is left undone that, it's not perfect, or etc., I mean, it's her restaurant, and it's her pride and joy to have the restaurant and be able to open it, and it's her business, but I'm sorry I kind of got myself involved with trying to get involved and trying to do the situation I did, because my heart and my feelings were in the right place. Well, some of them. My heart and feelings were somewhat in the right place, but I will say that I did kind of think she was attractive a little bit, and she knew that. So, I mean, we're not gonna lie that I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna lie to her and say, oh, I don't think you're not attractive, or that's not, or I'm not open to that, a suggestion. But regardless, the whole situation went downhill. I'm doing the best I can. Oh, and I defriended T'Challa Williams, which T'Challa Williams didn't want anything to do with me. She didn't really didn't want a connection and etc. She told me she didn't really have the time or the ability to be there for me and stuff like that. But I kind of really tried to move on from T'Challa Williams as soon as as soon as I gave it some more time because I met Tijuana. But Tijuana's a player. If you've seen her like Facebook page, she's a player. She has all these different things going on where she has these issues, these I don't say issues, but situations that I don't know, but I don't care. I don't care at this point. I'm gonna chill. And obviously she was riding around in the car with somebody last night because I heard a guy's voice and the voice message she left me like, "What are you talking about? You sound crazy. What are you talking about? Like, I understand your feelings or something like that, or I understand where you're coming from." At least that's how I took it. She would understand where I was coming from, and she would understand that at least I thought she was attractive and stuff like that. And I know she did, but I think that whoever was with her in that car was probably her boyfriend or somebody. She didn't want to know that I was actually the side piece or the side guy trying to help her out, trying to do what she, trying to help her out to do what she needed to do to get what she needed done, because my heart was open. Because my heart was open towards her, And lately I've been having a lot of word vomit. I don't know if my throat chakra is blocked or whatever it is, but it's like my throat chakra and my words are blocked. It's like a lot of word vomit. I can't, But I'm at this point where I'm just like, fuck everything, fuck everything, and fuck, fuck the shit, and, fuck the situation, and, whoever the fuck she wants to fuck now, it's none of my business. It bothers me, though. It bothers me, too, because I wish I could have, maybe had a chance to at least talk to her in some type of way that was, more beneficial to myself, but obviously nothing's meant to be at this point, She obviously, I said before, there's always a bigger player, there's always a bigger player, there's always somebody who has the bigger balls or the bigger situation that, they can do what they need to do to, do what they have to do and stuff like that, so, anyways. But yeah, that photo of that lady, that black lady with the tattoos and like the blue outfit, that's actually Taquana. That was actually a photo I actually originally saw on her page, It was basically out in the open, too. It was one of those photos that were basically out in the open. There was, like, when you look up Taquana's page, there's a couple photos that are out in the open, so it obviously draws these guys and these situations into the situation. So, and obviously just looking at her profile pictures and stuff like that, and looking at the pictures she had, she's pretty wild. Obviously she drinks and she does a lot of parties and she does a lot of stuff in New York and she does a lot of baking and kind of like around, she's a business owner. She was a business owner. She kind of was like leveling with me on my situation as where I am as somebody who was, I want to say, a business owner, but at this point, I don't even care I don't care if I'm a business owner or not, or if I'm a a artist or whatever you want to call it, because I'm almost not even really official a business because of my income, but my first source of income is actually my disability, This is like my second source of income, which is not really almost considered income, is actually my art page, which is another source of income, but I don't really kind of consider it income. I consider it whatever I can sell, here and there will be art, and be sold, but, obviously, that's one thing that I was trying to level with her on, and she was trying to level with me in the business sense, but I never really wanted her to really pay me or, etc., but, It turned out, I mean, she didn't pay me regardless because it was the first day, but it's still, I'm very, at the point where I busted my butt for this lady, right? I busted my butt for this lady. I've tried my best, and I've even seen guys come into the store around New Year's Eve, and they're over there talking to her. She's drunk as hell, and she's over there flirting like hell with these younger guys or these other guys, that are flirting with her and etc. at the New Year's Eve party, and it's like, well, kind of told her I was uncomfortable with that, but I don't think she gives a fuck, I don't think she's not going to give a fuck now, so, Obviously, some of these women don't even give a fuck about when a guy likes them or a guy, is interested in getting to know them or getting to be a support or etc. Some people just use it to their advantage. They don't really see the heart or see the value of the situation until they, really fuck somebody over and etc. So, obviously I blocked her. She deleted me, and I realized she deleted me, and I knew it was going to be her. So she deleted me. I blocked her. I removed myself from her page, her business page. I blocked her. Instagram. So we're not going to be continuing this conversation with her for much longer. But I just wanted to explain the situation because I was really overbearing, overbarred and overbearing, like with the situation about trying to do this job yesterday, and it was like. And then she wanted me there a little bit more permanent and stuff, and I had to fill out the application that I couldn't be there more permanently because I had my other, obligations, and she knew that. She was willing to give me, next Tuesday off because next Tuesday I had my mental health workers and stuff, but she wanted me to come in today, and I just couldn't do it today. I said to myself, you know what, I'm sorry, Taquana, but I as much as my heart was in the right place to do right by you and just try to, be an outstanding person for you and just try to help you out, I'm not in that place. I'm not in that place. And I really genuinely wanted to come from a place of love, respect, and admiration for Taquana, and it just... I don't know, I don't think I have that much respect right now, or some people might not with the fact that I posted that picture, but it's there to prove a point. Obviously, somebody's barking up that tree. I mean, obviously, there's other pictures with her and this other guy, and I saw this other guy's name pop up all the time when she gets calls. Her phone was kind of right on the table, and it popped up, and then kind of just looked at it briefly. I didn't really want to look and, be too nosy, but I guess I recognized the name, and I was like, oh, well... Obviously, she's not single, but, so, I mean, obviously, I don't know if I was being used as a side piece or what it was, but I wasn't happy about it. But then again, she said, whatever stays between us is going to be between us because we're both adults, but I am an adult. Yes, I am an adult, but I don't think the situation is fair if you're going to put me as a side piece or play me as somebody to put me on the side or etc. Because I'm not looking for, I'm going to have you as a side piece. I'm looking to be the main person in somebody's life. I'm looking to find somebody to be a main person in their life. I'm looking for somebody to be a main person in my life. I'm not looking to be no side piece or somebody who's gonna be like, oh, you're gonna be the side dude or the side chick because I have other obligations or I have all these people. But then again, it's right. Then again, I'm right because I gotta just slow down a bit here. But then again, I'm right because. I do have a lot of people that I talk to. I mean, I'm not going to say everybody is a love interest or etc. But I do have some people I talk to that were, especially even at the time before I even offered her my situation, because I was talking to some people because there were some people that I still people I was still interested in. Some of them were still professionals and stuff, and some of them are mostly Instagram models and stuff. But I still get respect, and I still get comments from different people. Like I've had, different, celebrities sometimes comment on the post, and other people comment on the post that I would post about, about their pictures and stuff on my Instagram page, which obviously right now it's turned into a lot of models and stuff because I haven't been doing much artwork and stuff like that. But because it's been a lot of models and stuff, it is what it is, it just... But I do. Some of those models actually commented on me, commented on my post. Some of those other people who were like business owners and stuff, like my networking, like my business owners and stuff that, I don't really know. But there's people from Chicago. There's people from like, Arizona. There's people, like tarot card readers and etc. Like my whole Instagram is also still a networking thing, Not saying I'm dating anybody because a lot of people are far at a far reach and kind of far. But, I don't know, I'm just at this point where I'm just thinking to myself, oh, well, whatever, but just wanted to get that off my chest. I tried for Taquana, and I feel like I'm really disappointed in the fact that I felt like really undervalued and really not appreciated as much, and kind of like a side piece because of whatever personal was going on between me and her that she wasn't really being honest about. Maybe I could have been more honest about her and maybe more upfront, but I assume she already knew that I thought she was attractive. I mean, because obviously she said whatever stays between me and her is going to be between me and her, but that kind of changed, and that situation changed when she defriended me, because obviously the relationship is over, and it's like, well, I just wanted to tell somebody about the situation. I just wanted to tell the world. I mean, obviously somebody might be going to bark up that tree after me, or somebody might be going to hear this and be like, oh, I want to go bark up that tree. I want to go talk to Taquana. I want to go make a relationship with her, because I know people do that. I've had a lot of shitty people do that to me. Like as soon as I tell somebody something goes wrong, people are right there to pick up the relationship with that person and make shit like a fucking problem for me. And it's like shit's ridiculous. Like this like, oh, fall out with Carl and let's buddy up and make more relationship and friendship drama or whatever else for the situation. So, but anyways. I'm going to get offline because my tarot card reader is now posting a thing for Sagittarius, and I want to watch that. So I want to watch what she has. I want to watch what she has for the situation. I'm stuttering a lot. I'm like stuttering a lot, but it's like because I'm speaking too fast and my mouth is very dry. But I'm telling you, it's like word vomit. I have like word vomit right now. I swear that there was a lot of love and mutual respect for Taquana at one point, and I part of me still really kind of cares and kind of feels, but at some point I gotta let it go, or at least I gotta just send it out there and just do my own thing, because nothing's gonna get it back at this point, unless she meant to just not block me at the time to come back and talk to me, but. At this point, I don't really care. I really don't care, because it is at this point where I'm more than frustrated and etc. So I mean, obviously, I wrote the name of Taquana as actually the person that I think Taquana was actually seeing on Facebook. I said, oh, such and such. I guess you and such and such are happy, but Obviously that struck a nerve, because obviously, she realized I might have actually got it or something, because I wouldn't have been defriended if there wasn't a nerve or something she wasn't really wanting to, tell me. So, but anyways, I just wanted to say that I was trying to volunteer. My heart was in a good place. There was a lot going on the last couple of days, last couple of weeks. I was trying to keep some things personal. It was supposed to be between me and Taquana. I'm sorry for those who might be hurt by the situation or the news, but apparently Taquana and I are now on, we're on the rocks, because now the situation is now, it's now just in a bad place between us. So, at this point, I'm going to do what I need to do, and I'm just going to chill and, do the best I can. So, yeah.